Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Gyaru magazine flip through, and a new one, literally new, at that, because I thought it'd just be a good way to open off the renewal of my YouTube channel. And yes, we are in a new space. I decided that we'd film this one in my family living room, just because it's a little simpler to do it this way, because the lighting's good in here, and I don't know, because sometimes I get sick of being in my bedroom, so I thought I'd do it here instead. Also, just a disclaimer, please do not mind my really scary sunburn that I got. The sun literally beat me up yesterday at a family gathering, and so we're just going to ignore the fact that I am very, very red. But anyways, let's get started with this magazine. So I thought we'd start with a new one, just because this magazine in particular is very hard to scan. If you've been following my Instagram, you know that I've been doing scan highlights of different magazines and whatnot. But this magazine is very wide and it doesn't fit in my scanner. And I was like, well, how do I share this magazine if I can't scan it? And I was like, wait, I do magazine flip throughs. This would be perfect for this. So this is why we're doing this. This is a StoNew magazine from 2001, May in particular. And this is a rather rare magazine. It only lasted from 2000 to 2002. So these are kind of hard to find. I was trying to find more of these, but either my orders got canceled or just they're just really hard to find. They get grabbed up pretty quickly when you do find them. StoNew is short for Tokyo Street News, but I think this is a Gyaru sub-label of that particular magazine. So that's also maybe why it's short-lived, because the Gyaru boom kind of shifted at one point in time. And what you'll notice in this magazine too is that there's a lot of different models from other magazines that are also in this magazine. I think in this issue in particular, or it might be in my other one, Hanako Inui from Pop Teen is in this, and there's other models as well. But there are some that are very dedicated solely to this magazine as well, so you get a little bit of both. But yeah, this is the front cover. We're doing a lot of summer fashion in this issue because it's May. It's the opening of summer. We have a lot of good denim going on, some white pants, halters, some sporty looking stuff and whatnot. And there's a little bit of everything in here. There's B-gal, there's surf style, there's a little bit of punk in there. You're gonna see everything, so get prepared for that. So let's get started flipping through this magazine, shall we? So we open up to the first page, and there is a cell phone ad. I feel like this phone is like a mix between a Nokia brick and a Sony Ericsson for some reason. I think it's the orange, and like the shape is like almost bubble-like. That kind of reminds me of that Sony phone. But this is by Mode, and it was like held by Docomo. And it says digital MOVA R691i geo-free. So we still had these phones in 2001 going on. I really think it's amusing how they have like the white and blue, which is very like Y2K like, but then it's paired with orange, which also is very on brand for this time period. I was I 10, 11 when this magazine came out? Yeah, probably. Okay, so now we have a drink called Aquarius featured here. I'm assuming it's very similar to Pocari, but here's an ad for that. And then we have some of the cover girls featured here. And I think that's probably just an interview with them. So we're gonna flip on through. I think that this is a Skechers ad, but it's collaborating with an idol group of some sort. But I like this. This is really cute. I remember when a lot of shoes had like this silver and blue thing going on. There was a lot of shoe brands that did that. It was quite popular. Also the pink was like the other variant that a lot of people liked, but that's really cute. Then we have the table of contents here. I'm noticing like the music interviews and whatnot. We have like Inflow back in their prime. We have Backstreet Boys, which makes me feel very, very old. We have like a lot of things going on actually. 80s style here. Yeah. So onward we go. We have Skin Life, which might be a cleanser of some sort. It's skincare for sure. But there's an ad for that. Lots of ads so far, but that's pretty typical for the beginning of a magazine. And then we have news, I think trending items maybe. So we have like a lot of like fruit stuff being put on everything, t-shirts, accessories on bags and stuff. We also have denim being very big around this era of time. A lot of people would flex their like brand mirrors back in the day. Even later on in Gyaru fashion, that was like a thing. It was pretty big. So there's that. More ads. This is for a shampoo and hair treatment thing. So there's that. And then we have some beach stuff. We have some bikinis. We have some like shorts and like cover-ups for this. I don't know what much to say. Like, I think this spread really speaks for itself, honestly. We have some really interesting prints going on. We have like the hearts and like the polka dot hearts. Hearts must have been a really big thing because I'm seeing a lot of that go on in these prints. And just bright colors in general. We have some distressed cut off denim shorts as well that were quite big around that time. Moving onward, we have more bikinis. I feel like this is very, very gal, this leopard print situation going on. And it's like shiny leopard print, which is so tacky, but very, very gal. We have like cherries paired with yellow. That was also a very big motif around those times. Star pattern bikinis. I think this has a little bit of crochet in it. We have the rainbow stripes. Rainbow was huge in 2001. You're gonna notice a lot of bright colors and stuff, but I have a particular pop team that really showcases that rainbow trend, but we see it here a little bit. I like how this one has like the little hibiscus on the right cup of that bikini. That's really cute. And then we have things like this that have like the pink with navy blue. That was also a very big combination of stuff. Lots of fruit patterns or either tropical patterns in general were big if you weren't wearing rainbow print. Blue and orange, also a very big staple. And look at those cute flip-flops. They have like little things on them. They're really hard to see, but they are there. I think that's very cute. So we have a lot of that. American print and like red, white, and blue in general were also very big around those times. I don't know if it was particularly like America, like what people would now call like America core, because obviously other countries share the same color combinations for their flags, but red, white, and blue are also like kind of a thing. I also noticed that in my pop teen. I don't know if we're gonna see this in here, but if we do, I will let you know. Okay, so now we have 80s style. So this is what they're considering to be 80s style, which is interesting to me because some of this feels more 50s and 60s, especially like skirts like this with the polka dot. And see how this is like the red, white, and blue thing I was talking about? There it is. We have like the off the shoulder tank tops. We have stripes going on, more red, white, and blue with those shoes over there like that. That was a very big thing. I don't know what else to talk about really in this. Like, I think it speaks for itself in terms of just trends and what all was going on. But yeah, so now we're gonna flip through. Once again, I'm saying like bright colors, but also like, look, red, white, and blue is really in this as well. I love those star printed glasses. I've never seen anything like that before actually. So that's really interesting. We have some really cute red and white polka dot mules over here. We have kind of like they're not quite capris, but they're not full on jeans, I guess. I don't know. They're like cut off in a particular area. Now you'll notice capris are quite big around this time as well. But this feels either, I can see this being 80s, but I could also see this being quite 50s, 60s as well. I think the belt is really what is giving off like 80s vibes, honestly. Fruit prints, like I said, were quite big So here's some fruit prints. We have cherries. We have that off the shoulder thing going on with denim. As you notice, platforms aren't as big in 2001. I feel like a lot of people are heavily impressed by 2000 in particular, because that's really when the Atsuzoko platform shoe, that big chunky platform, was in. But by 2001, that style was very much so phased out, and you had things like wedges, wooden wedges in particular were big, or like the straw wedges. But kitten heels, or like pin heels, were far more trendy, and I feel like this style lasted much longer than the Atsuzoko did for some reason. There's a lot of that going on. And as you see here too, the mini skirts aren't really present as much. We have a lot of mid-length things going on, or like longer length skirts, which are interesting. We have this really weird combination of socks being paired with heels. You're gonna see a lot of that go on as well. Japan was just wild when it came to things like that. Lots of like t-shirts with skirts like this. That was very big. But yeah, it's very like modest actually. Like, this is what they consider mini skirts, which, I mean, this is a mini skirt, but in comparison to like what other people consider to be mini skirts, this is nothing. We have that metallic gold skirt. That's actually quite big. More fruit prints. I think this is an apple print from what I can see. We have this denim, which will come back into style later with brands like Coco Lulu, with the patchwork, or just like decorative denim in general. This bright yellow is very on trend for 2001, 2002. I associate this color of yellow with Gyaru quite a bit. We have something that I like to refer to as yeehaw fashion. Not exactly Western fashion, but a lot of fashion elements around this time would incorporate a cowboy bucket hat in their outfits. I don't know particularly if it's something of its own doing, or if it's because this was also the time that Madonna's Ray of Light album came out, and I think Ray of Light had music and Don't Tell Me on it, and both of those incorporate those bucket hats. But there they are. We have things like this. The tube tops with the skirts were also big. Also like tennis caps. I don't know what they're particularly called. We have a lot of that, and like the bandanas. Those were very big around this time period as well. Almost like borderline tennis fashion, arguably, but it's there. It's definitely there. Yeah, we have a lot of that going on. We have this interview with Miss Britney Spears, because it would not be 2001 unless Britney Spears was featured somewhere in this magazine. She's everywhere. She's not just limited to her own country. She's, like I said, everywhere. And for this, we're promoting the single Stronger, which is an amazing music video. And there's like even people wearing like a shirt that has like Britney Spears across it and whatnot. So she was very big internationally, a freaking icon. I think she talks a little bit about everything in this. Like this is just like a summary of her as a person. This talks about her new single, Stronger, talking about the music video. This is about her life thus far, what's going on in her life. This is about her fashion and style, and how she really, really likes Madonna. There's Madonna wearing her shirt. It's really funny because, like I said, there's one of the models wearing the same shirt. I guess this is a brand maybe called Miss 60, and that's currently the big brand in 2001, because they're saying that this is like the cute Miss 60 boom. We flip through and we have stuff from this brand. We have the green with the white polka dots. We see this green come back in 2007, combined with things like yellow, and it leaves quite the mark personally. And we have like a lot of really interesting graphic tops around this time, with just like really simple graphics just on the middle. We do have things like this that are like full graphics, but a lot of stuff is solely on the middle. That, or we have like, I don't want to call it abstract patterns, but like we have things like this and this also big around that time. But yeah, a lot of things that are combined with skirts or really good denim are what was big around that time. We have the introduction maybe of the halters that will phase in 2002 and 2003 in particular. They're slowly creeping in right here. And of course we have like the off the shoulder tank top situation going on. This one's really interesting because it's like a neck tie thing that's very like 50s, 60s ish. But yes, very interesting. So moving right along, we have some accessories that are being featured. We have these type of like mini bags that were kind of, I don't know how to explain them. They're not like the flat bags, are like rounded out little clutch bags. And then we have this style of bag. This would eventually turn into like a sack bag with this material, but this has like an embroidered pattern on it. Once again, fruit, because that was big around that time. We have the off the shoulder tank, but with graphics. More fruit pattern in here. The red, white, and blue, but we have yellow with this one, which is interesting. Thin belts were in. More of that like embroidered bag. That's what I meant by like those round, I don't know what they're called, but like they're like a handbag, but they're round. I think you guys know what I mean. We have like the denim shoe. I had a pair of shoes, not exactly like this, but with the denim, with the wood, I had something like that. So there's that. Once again, rainbow patterns were a thing. We have a bedazzled sequined bikini, which is insane, but you know, this was 2001, so it's not that shocking. So moving right along, we have this spread / ad campaign for Mousy, somebody tell me how to pronounce this. I think this brand is possibly still around, but this spread is really, really sleek and very cool. Like, this almost feels like it belongs in 2008 or 2009, because I feel like the style of like jacket and this very androgynous look was very big around that time frame as well. But this is very cool. I love those sunglasses. We're gonna see a lot of those come back later on in Gyaru fashion in like the mid to late 2000s, I feel like. And then, like I said, these jackets definitely also come back. I really am amused at how like monochrome this is. Like, it's very black and white with just like really, really subtle pops of color that are like barely there. Like, this shirt feels like it belongs in like 2005 almost. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. Well, moving right along, once again, I'm very amused by this photography style in terms of this brand, because this is so against what other Gyaru brands or like Gyaru photo shoots are. Because most Gyaru photo shoots are very bright and very overexposed, and this is very different. This is not that. And yeah, just wow. So once again, we have very good denim. That is the theme of the early 2000s, is just very good denim. And then we have the heel, the metallic heel. This isn't a pin heel, but it's like a, would you call this a kitten heel? I don't think it's low enough to be a kitten heel, but it's there, and it's metallic, and metallic shoes are very 2000s. We have the gold necklace, the plate necklaces that were very stylish around that time. We have that green color is very bright, but in here it looks very muted, but I bet in person it's actually quite bright. We have the graphic with this, and this is either a tank top or a halter. Borderline looks like a halter just because of the way it's cut, but I actually really like this shirt. This is something I would have bought. I think it has like a spaceship on it. That's interesting. And then we have like the fray. There's another word for it, but I can't, in my head, it's not coming up. Watch it come to my head when I stop this video. But it's like a graphic tee, and I'm assuming it was like long sleeve at one point, or like it was meant to be, but then they cut the pieces to make like the little dangly bits. But yeah, also they have the Vivienne Westwood armor ring right there. It's made an appearance. That and a thumb ring. I haven't seen a thumb ring in a hot minute. Then we have this spread. It says Lost Angels, but it has a moon and stars. I actually really like this top. I would buy the shit out of this top, actually, because I love moons and stars. That's kind of my thing. And in terms of the makeup, it's very glowy, but it's like a cool tone glowy. We have like a good lipstick or a gloss, and like the eyelashes aren't very extreme. We're more focused on like glowy skin, really, really glossy lips, and a good eyebrow. And there is eyeliner, but it's more emphasized in this inner part. And there's a little bit of smokiness. Very amused by this. And we have some crimped hair. Also very nice. I think this is the same shirt, but in gold and black. Which one would you guys prefer? The gold and black colorway or the silver and like gray colorway? I think I prefer this one. This one goes with that whole angel theme a little better, right? Then we have, are those khakis? They're like weird jean, denim-y khakis. I don't know how to explain these, but yeah, I remember these being a thing. And just like a lot of interesting cutouts with shirts that like look like they're homemade or like done like by yourself, but they weren't. So there's that. We have like it's like a belt, but it's almost like a belly chain, but it's not a chain. And camo. We have to have camo. Like that was also very trendy around this time. And like the short hair too. Like Ayumi Hamasaki would wear short hair like this quite frequently. We have the green and white, like it's a like sleeveless hoodie, like zip up hoodie or like zip up jacket out sleeves. And then, like I said, like that kind of like, I did it myself, but it really wasn't done by me type of look where like you have like little lace up side bits and whatnot. But yeah, there's that. Interesting. See, now we go back to like the overexposed bright stuff again. This feels very 60s, 70s, doesn't it? Especially with like the flares and the thick belts. And this type of shirt really just reminds me of the 70s with the tinted glasses that are rounded out and stuff. Like that's there was a 70s and 60s revival around this time for sure. But yeah, we have like the shoes. These shoes were very big in the early 2000s as well. We have colored fishnet, but they're like the tiny fishnet rather than the big fishnets. We have like the denim skirts, which I notice are trending a lot even nowadays. We have this skirt that really like encapsulates like the 60s and 70s as well to me because of these like flowers. And I think there's like even a, no, she's just holding a mango. At first I thought there was like a sunset on that part, but no, there's just flowers in here. And the flipped out hair, that was a thing. I don't know what we were thinking, but it was a thing. We were very convinced it looked good, but it didn't really look that great. But yeah, just a little bit of like plaid going on and like ruffly shirts. I don't know. This era of time was very chaotic. It's like chaotic fashion, but it worked. I don't know how to explain it any other way. This is showing a bunch of different like blouses. And what I mean by blouses is like button up tops basically. So like I said, like the 70s especially were really big around that time. We see a lot of 60s influence with like the hair being like that, which eventually comes back in the later 2000s in Hime, Gyaru, and Angijo, but in a more extreme way. But yeah, there's a lot of like 50s, 60s, and 70s elements. Like this feels like 50s with the skirt, but then the top feels very 70s, but the headband, once again, kind of goes back to the 50s. So there was a lot of like that type of thing going on, and we can even see it a little bit in American fashion. When I think of the 50s and that late 90s, early 2000s style, I really do think of the movie Jawbreaker in particular, because there's a lot of new elements, but it's still 50s and 60s. Because like obviously like they use like PVC or like leather, but then it's those cinched long skirts with like the neck scarf and stuff. Like it's crazy how a lot of different elements from different decades were combined around this time. So you can't put your finger quite on what's from what, but it's definitely a memory that I have from this time period. So we got more blouses here, more button up. We have like the plaid situation with like the lace to like emphasize the bust. More of that. Lots of like abstract, like that was big around that time as well. I like this skirt and stuff. So I think of like Yazawa around this time as well, like Ayazawa. She would do a lot of things. Like this outfit very much so like screams such cool to me, with like the boots and stuff. All it's missing is the bucket hat. So this is going back to 80s. I don't quite know how this is 80s, but it says 80s on there for some reason. There it is. Kyonen no Alba wa 80s. So I guess Alba was taking from the 80s, but it doesn't really feel 80s to me. But this is an Alba Rosa spread, all of this. So this is very infamous. I actually love this colorway of the skirt. Purple Alba just seems really, really fun. And then this top I've seen float around. So funnily enough, I have this top as a dress. Like I have this print. So it's kind of cool to know that I have a piece that's possibly from 2001. I really like this a lot as well. Lots of like neutrals from what I'm noticing. Not as much print as you'd think that there'd be. There's a lot of like basic pieces that I'm assuming you just pair with like a graphic tee or something interesting. These were really big, but I feel like these are about to be phased out of this time period. The sleeveless turtlenecks. I feel like this was very 98, 99, and we're gonna move into like things like this later on that are just like v-neck stuff like this, or like I think they're called Ralligans, like baseball tees with the long sleeves and stuff. These are very big. So this is about to get phased out, and that's why there's only like one of those there from what I'm assuming. We also have the dresses like that are high neck, like they go past the collarbone. They're not turtlenecks, but they go past the collarbone and they're sleeveless. These were also interesting around that time. You put like a little kitten heel with them and have like curled hair, and you look very, very ladylike, very like one-san around that time. So yeah, here's the Alba for those of you wondering. So here's more Alba. We have the capri pant, because like I said, the capri pant definitely had its moment in time. You have fanny packs. There's that. They're there as well. You have some good bell-bottom denim. We have the hibiscus belt in red, because I feel like pops of red were kind of a thing around that time. And I guess they had their own, I know they had their own makeup line, but they also had their own like brand of tanning oil apparently, because there that is. So yeah, just like lots of spring colors. As you see, like pastels are here. There's that sleeveless turtleneck, but like I said, I think it's gonna get phased out after this year. So the next thing we have is Missia Ad. She was around for quite a while, and her music's used a lot in like Gyaru vids and whatnot, but this is a third album promotion here. So she's already on her third album. So next we have makeup stuff. And as you see, it's quite light. It's there. But I feel like with like Tokyo Street News, it's a very like generalized Gyaru. It's not pop teen Gyaru. It's not egg Gyaru. It's just kind of generalized. So we have like a lot of like lip balm stuff here and nail polishes. Just really basic stuff, honestly. These are really interesting colors. And then we have like the highlighters and blushes up in here as well. I like how they use like different backgrounds. Like this one's like a pastel green, this is a yellow, this is a purple. Really looks nice. Then we have some stuff that's featured in 109. I love these. Would these be considered? Yeah, I guess they're capris. Like I consider capri to here, but I guess these are kind of like a capri kind of sort of. So like I said, these are kind of popular around this time period, and you'd combine them with like a shirt you could tie up and make a cropped top, or like something like this, or a t-shirt. We have a heart bag down here, which is very like Lolita-y, but they were big around that time as well. We have the lettuce hems, tank tops in here, more off the shoulder. I guess that's like what you could take away from this time period, is a lot of off the shoulder, one shoulder tank tops were a thing. We have some floral print, some animal print, particularly like zebra and leopard print combined. We have like faux leather capris. That's insane, actually. Whoa. I love these sunglasses. These sunglasses are very, very early 2000s to me. This is a bunch of different stuff you can find in 2001, 109. Also primary, would this be considered primary color, like polka dot? Also very interesting. In camo. There's that camo again. We have more stuff. This is so fun. I love this. They got the stripes with the dark denim and the interesting belt, and she's wearing like a crochet like little throw over with the coolest sunglasses. And I love how they did her hair here. Like that is so fun. Like even the shoes are very like low as well. Like they just peep out from that bell bottom. Just, I love that. I love that. And then we have the skirt to skirt is that heart print again, and it's so cute. I love that. We have the tiny polka dots. This is very like 50s. As I told you, 50s was like kind of a thing as well. We have like the denim dress in here. It's dark denim because then the gold will stand out a lot. We have like this isn't like a cable like knit cardigan, but it's a cardigan with like green with like cheetah print. That's interesting. I haven't seen anything like that before. And we have it in like a tube top here in red. Huh. I like that. That's interesting. Ah! We have like a metallic shoe down here, like metallic gold. We have random English sayings on shirts because it was 2001. It was just what it was. We have like lime green and bright blues and, like I said, graphic tees and abstract print. Clogs. Wooden clogs. I remember that I participated in that trend. So there's a lot of that going on around this time. It's very simple, actually. Like I feel like a lot of people overthink early 2000s Gyaru fashion. It really wasn't that difficult. It's a vibe more so. Like it was all about the tan and the way you did your makeup and stuff. I feel like if I tried this style of makeup, it wouldn't look gal on me, but it looks gal on these girls. Here is another spread. This one's more of like sweet style stuff. So like this one's actually okay English. It says I've chosen pink. That's actually somewhat decent. This is a cherry print crochet top. We have some stripes. This is like a milkshake graphic tee. This was like, I think this brand's logo for a while was like a little Bambi deer, because it's actually on quite a bit of stuff that they have. And this style obviously kind of undergoes a transformation later on in like 2007. This comes back, but it's even more extra. But this black and white polka dot reminds me of Tralala a lot and what Tralala would turn into. Then we have more stuff. 80s. Like I said, I don't know why 80s is in this. None of this really fully translates as 80s to me, but there it is. We have the red, white, and blue thing going on, people's fixation on the US. And this is, I feel like a lot of people associate that patriotism with like what happened with 9/11, for instance. But I feel like this was already going on before this. It just was up more when that happened, when that tragedy happened. Like, people were feeling even more patriotic. But I feel like a lot of people were really bemused with this whole like USA, America concept even before that happened. Because I know when a lot of people talk about trends, they were like, oh, after that happened, a lot of that came out. And I'm like, no, that was a thing beforehand. We have just like random slogans like sexy on that top. As you see, like the sleeves also were like different from the rest of the top. That was a thing. So this top definitely reminds me of Tommy Hilfiger, which was definitely one of those like flex brands. If you could afford that back in the day, you were that girl. Now it's not cool, but back in the day, I think that's also maybe where that red, white, and blue concept maybe had came from too, because that was big around that time. Then we have like the denim jackets and stuff in dark wash. Dark wash was the thing. But yeah, there's that. Have some more brands doing their spreads. This is like those hair things where you could pull your hair back and it's like separated off at your like hairline, and if you didn't put it on right, you'd stab yourself in the face. But they have like little colored bits and bobs in theirs. We have the capris, more cherry print, graphic tees with Los Angeles on them. That was the thing. This is a really interesting skirt because it's got apple print on it, but instead of the apples being red, they have the top being red. That's interesting. Then we have these like pants with the floral print shirt. This is actually really cute. I like that. Then we have the things that looks very 60s-esque in here with the skirt and the top that matches. Actually find this interesting. This is crop, but she has a vest over it, and then dark wash denim, a grommet belt, paperboy cap. No, this isn't a paper. Is it? No, this is the other hat. And then she has platform metallic heels, open-toed sandal heels, mind you, with socks. Only in Japan. Only in Japan could that ever be a thing. I'm telling you. I mean, it could be a thing anywhere, but like, it works. I don't know how, but it does. Then we have other stuff going on here. These pants are wild. They have a tiger on them. Wow. That's insane. Obviously, these pants are the statement piece, because she just has a regular spaghetti strap white top on, because otherwise it'd just be too much. It really would be. We have interesting prints in here. We have that rainbow print combined with yellow of all things. But it works. Rainbow print was definitely a thing. I think you're seeing more red, white, and blue in this, in terms of trend rather than rainbow. But, you know, we're not all the way through this magazine yet, but there that is. This jersey style top was absolutely a thing back in the day. I feel like this definitely becomes even bigger in like 2003, 2004. But there's maybe the introduction of that trend. More red, white, and blue with like a pop of pink. There that is. It's kind of wild. Very neutral with like some gingham. Camel print makes an appearance again. I feel like different brands took on like different trends. Pineapples instead of cherries as the fruit prints. This is crazy. This is like cheetah print for the letters, but then it's bright blue. That's insane. There's a rainbow belt. You see a lot of those, actually. There's that rainbow again. So you see bits and pieces of it in this. Those are those like tennis dresses. Those were very big. I think I had one of those, actually. I definitely had a top like this. Yeah, very early 2000s. This is Liz Lisa. Can you believe that this is what Liz Lisa used to look like? We're so used to Liz Lisa being very romantic and girly and floral and fluffy, but at one point in time it was very casual. Like, this even shows the inside of the store, and it's just bright white. Like, my god. Like, you really can't tell it apart from like the other brands now, can you? Here, but like it eventually was able to like set itself apart from the other brands. I really miss the days of brands being really distinct and having like their thing that they were known for. We need to bring that back. More stuff. This is wild. I love this tube top. It's gold. The heart is outlined with gold. But there's leopard print in the heart and on the edge of this top, and then it's red. That's insane. But I love it. And then we have like the white belt combined with the denim. I'm telling you, just America core doing its thing. I like these jeans. They're like orange, but they're gradiented. That's interesting. I kind of like that. That's insane. I keep saying that's insane, but like truly and honestly. And then we have like the like top with the collar. So it goes with this. There's like the graphic spaghetti scrap tee, and then the jeans, they're dark wash and they have multiple buttons. I had something like that. I definitely had something like that. Then we have like the tube top. This is very chaotic because you have like the pink tube top and the pink shoes. These are out of trend shoes in my opinion. And then you have this skirt that's orange, white, and red with pops of green. This outfit is all over the place and somehow it works. And this big bag, which I feel like there's certain things where you can just like predict what's going on. Because these big bags aren't really trending around that time, but they're about to. So she's not that crazy because this is gonna come back in a big way. This dress is really amusing in the sense that it's really simple because it's like a red outline and then it's just like really, really small polka dots and stuff. I feel like polka dots, especially heart polka dots, were a thing. We have some bags, lots of totes, just lots of like really basic bags around this time. I'm telling you, this was the shoe of the early 2000s, not the platform. The platform was earlier. This wooden style shoe was all the rage, especially if it was wooden. It's like some of them are mules, some of them are kitten heels, some of them are just straight out like sandals. This one's really amusing. This stands out to me a lot, actually. Whoa. Esperanza. These are all the Esperanza shoes. This one's also interesting as well. But yeah, just to clarify, Datsuzoko was out by then. It was all about this and this later on because this would peep out of like a jean really well. Then we have some street snaps, I assume, because it's called Real Style Collection. So I assume this is on the street. So we have her with her like little doggy. That's really cute. With red pants and a pink top. That's very like Valentine's Day-y in my opinion. I have pink with denim and red. Lots of that going on. It's really like kind of their version of like a sweet style, I feel like. And we have like the then we have like this style. Once again, kind of phased out by then with the platform, but this looks really good together actually. She has like the little hat and then the red, pink, denim thing going on again. Here's that wedge situation going on, and she has like a brown polka dot skirt and like the off the shoulder top, it's not a tank top per se, because it's higher than what a tank top is. It's very office lady. She's got even a Louis Vuitton, so this would be more considered like One style at that point. This is really fun. My lord, this girl has a good stomach. And what I mean by this is because her pants are very like low rise, and her crop top is high, very high. But she pulls it off. She pulls it off very well. This is like the rock style, or what they consider rock style. Rock style has like a lot of like the denim with the lip thing going on, and like Converse, chaotic prints and patterns, that type of thing. This is dealing with like trench coats around this time. This is very like Hime Gyaru when it's like beginnings, I feel like, because it's all like white going on. Obviously this isn't Hime Gyaru, but like we see this happen with Hime Gyaru later on. Like leopard print trenches, colorful stuff combined together. Here's like what hair was trending. There's those butterfly clips, really thick headbands, lots of ponytails that are like updos in this era, especially things like that as well. This is very fun. Colored tights, colored fishnet was a thing for sure. That is again just a different dress. It's interesting. Rainbow print skirts, more denim. That's a mini skirt. Like to me, that's a mini skirt. That is also a mini skirt. These are kind of mini skirts, but these two, that's a mini skirt to me, personally. We have like the Boston, I call this like a Boston bag, and then we have the mini bag as well being a thing. Like I said, this is very out of trend. This was phased out by then, but there it is. Same goes with this. They're both wearing Atsuzoko. So it's not the fact that they're not around, it's just, as you see, they're not in here as much. This is just a whole feature on denim. Yeah, is a bunch of metallic shoes, red shoes paired with dark denim. Mostly, like, as you see, you hardly see any like light wash denim. There's like what, 2 things of light wash denim, but most of it is dark actually, which is interesting. And it's just paired with like a good top, and that's what people would do. This is considered BK girl. So this is like, BK is a really complicated style because it actually stands for beatbox break dance style, because at one point in time Japan had a very big like break dance and like beatbox culture, and obviously that's based off of Black culture and stuff, but their way of, I guess, emulating that style either was as casual as this or as crazy as like Shoop was at that time. So a lot of it is like street wear, like as simple as like a big hoodie and jeans. But then you have things like this, which are obviously way more Black inspired, you know, especially I think the lip and the makeup really makes this, because it's that frosted eyeshadow with like a heavy liner, and then that lip liner and it's metallic. And I remember this so vividly too, because it was like a purple plum with like a metallic silver, and then the lip liner was brown. That look very much so lives in my head rent free pretty much. So yeah, there's a lot of that. So this next part is just like regular denim out in the street, I think. Featuring a lot of denim in here. So this really is interesting to me. This is a lot of pastels. This is very spring friendly. I love this print in here. It's very pastel. It's very fun. It gives me limited 2 vibes, honestly. And of course we have like this setup, which really reminds me of Liz Lisa, or what Liz Lisa would turn into. Especially if this was more long sleeve and it had like the knee boot. That would be very old style, like Liz Lisa or like Jesus Diamante. But here's that. Then we have like just the regular skirts, like the flowy skirts. And like the dress is like this. It's very romantic, very sweet. What was considered sweet around that time. Then we just have more stuff going on. Lots of stuff going on. This is very 70s, in my opinion. They even have the platform going on. The white pants, the scarf, tube top. Like this is, God, that's very 70s. This is more like cool style with like the fishnet and the denim and the gold. Like this is very, very like cool looking. Camo with yellow. It's a thing. I don't know how to explain it any other way. Yeah, more rainbow print up in there. There's that like cord, cable knit, like not cable knit. What do you call that? It's a type of cardigan. There's that. And then we get to the hair, and the hair is a really interesting part of the 2000s, because you have everything from like blunt, really, really blunt, like cut in bangs, which I think is like crazy. But then you have stuff like this, which is like zigzag part, flipped out. I used to try to rock something like this, honestly. And then we have these really interesting updos, which, I mean, I had friends, older friends, that would do something like this and then pair it with a backless halter and some shorts. It's the epitome of summertime. I'm not kidding you. And of course we have other hairstyles. We have like the side part loose curl thing. We have the bangs pulled back. That's very like classic Gyaru style. This picture with the side ponytail and whatnot somehow reminds me of Yui Kano. I don't know why, but like these three are very like default Gyaru styles. And then we just have like the straight hair in here. We have like straight hair with bangs put in and then like flipped out parts. Borderline Suzu, if you look at like these parts. Obviously it's not Suzu, but it's there. And then obviously you can pull this back into this, is what she's trying to say. And then we just have some stuff that's, you know, not good for 2023, but it's here. It was a thing. Enough said. Going on, we have the short hair. This is a lot of like what IU used to rock a lot, so that's why they're trying to do this. I don't know what the hell this is. This is insane, but it probably was a thing. We have the bob, or at least I call it with the bob, but the like the side bang, and like people try to incorporate like headbands and stuff to give it more volume. We have like a longer bob in here. This was very big. This style and this style were very big in Japanese fashion around that time. Then you have this, which can turn into this. It's okay. This I remember being very big in like J fashion. You see this look on idols a lot too, with like a tube top and denim. It was a thing. Then I guess like the Disney store had like their own brand of like Tinkerbell merch. So they had like nail polishes and like makeup bags and stuff, called Kiss Me or like Sugar Moon or something. These might be just called Sugar Moon nail polishes, but it's based on Peter Pan and like Tinkerbell. And then this is a bunch of different models that are featured in this magazine. Here's Pop Teen's Hanako Inui. Who else do I notice? Mizuki Ueda. I've seen her before. Hitomi Hirasawa. These three particular stand out to me. So they're going to be in this magazine. So I think this is a good place to leave off until next time. So with that being said, was there anything about 2001 fashion that's shocked you so far? I remember when I got my first set of J Fashion magazines from 2001, I was really shocked at one, the heel heights, because I still thought Atsuzoko were like a huge thing. Obviously they're not. That and just the incorporation of so much rainbow print. That's not something that I remember as much. This time period for me is quite nostalgic. I would have been a preteen around this time, just then getting into music and fashion and hair and makeup and all of that. I wasn't quite a teenager yet, but I have a lot of fond memories of this era and a lot of me looking up to a lot of older girls around this time, wishing that I could dress this way. Because a lot of these trends, believe it or not, were universal. They weren't just limited to Japan. Some of these trends did fly over the ocean to where I was at. But yeah, I think this is a good place to leave off. tell me what you think in the comments below. I will talk to you guys soon. Until next time.